Earnings, LivePerson should be exciting. What can we expect on price action depending on the data that comes out? What are analysts expecting? So, what would be positive and expectation beat? And what would be negative? Expectations not met. And what would be the appropriate reaction in price action? We had the butterfly harmonic that suggested an exit signal for those who were short. That came at the same time as approximately a test on this macro support trend line. You could draw that slightly more accurately and see how close it really was. So you got a lot of liquidity coming in to buy the shares here relative to anywhere else in the previous trend. Because so many people that were short were incentivized to close, so many people that were looking to add to positions or get into this thing found the perfect entry, that created a demand and supply distortion, which led to price action recovering back below 98 cents up to test 108 post-market, 105 at close. So what might happen on LivePerson if revenue and earnings per share is a beat? Well, revenue estimate is 68 million. Put that in context, couple of earnings back then. Last earnings 74 million, previous to that 79 million, 85 million. Okay, 85 million for Q1 2024, 95 million Q4 2023. This is Q4 2024, so the most appropriate quarter to compare it to is way back when. That was a 95 million. That wasn't because of seasonal earnings. It's been declining due to those customers, legacy customers leaving, and a new focus on the core product. So what you're looking to see is this decline to decrease its rate of change. So it went from 95 to 85, that was 10 million, then down to 79, 6 million, down to 74, 5 million. So you're looking for 4 million, right? 4 million should take it to 70 million, and the estimate is 68. So anything between 68 to 70 is not bad. That's doing positive, not bad. It's not rocket ship immediately, but it's very good news. So we could anticipate a little bit of a relaxation with regards to the pressure on the company, because it does look then like they've managed to get this into second gear before they go around the corner. So you're looking to beat 68 to 70 million. 68 being the estimate, 70 being a reduction in the rate of change. With regards to earnings per share, these have been all over the place, and you would anticipate looking at this estimate at 16 cents as potentially being wildly off, and the real detail being in the revenue here rather than the earnings per share. Though we will pay attention, and anything drastically different than the loss of 16 cents per share with the way that this is calculated, you would think that would have an impact. But it's in combination with the revenue, certainly. If the revenue goes up, earnings per share goes down. Don't necessarily anticipate that being very dramatic. If that does happen, I think, in fact, revenue will be in around these levels. And we're looking for the guidance that comes along with earnings to give us a real move on the chart. So if it does beat those expectations, it does beat the estimate, you've found support here. If volume comes in, it's anything approaching what we saw at that previous low and break it to the top side, then the sky's the limit, right? This thing could easily push up and test 239 if it gets really, really positive earnings because of the sentiment on this rate of decline, which has been getting obviously quite concerning for the company. And that is when you make the most money as a trader, when the markets think that the thing is going to go kaput, and you've had a little bit of an extra look and think you could get an extra couple of years out of this thing. Now, if they've got an extra couple of years, it's an AI company, right? It's going to be huge opportunities coming over the next 24 months in this sector, in this industry, for this company who are already outcompeting Salesforce for many different potential contracts. So you're looking at this test and the potential move to the top side. And if that earnings come in with revenue figures 68 to 70 million, that might arrest this decline and price action then pushing back to the top side. The area you want to see it testing up at around 118. Getting there means breaking back above 108 and 112. A little bit of stickiness in around those prices. So if it's a very good earnings, better than 70 million, then you might look for that 118. If it's even better than that, you might look at that and see the downward sloping diagonal being broken, tested the previous high coming in at around 130, 50% retracement from the downward sloping Fibonacci there. You're looking at perhaps in at around 130, and if you get really good guidance along with those positive earnings, and positive can be just meeting expectations, really good guidance about what's coming in the next quarter would have an immediate lift on prices, and you could expect it to even test higher. Maybe it comes in around break 140. If it breaks 140 at this stage, it's broken the prior high from previous formation. That's relevant back going across previous price action here, and price action would be in this area much freer to move up without historical price action holding it down, and we could anticipate price action being very, very fast in this little gap. So anything that pushes positive expectations in the guidance along with good news in the revenue figures means that you could see a really strong reaction on price action, and the initial thing to consider is breaking that downward sloping trend. This is all in the 4-hour time frame where you can see that your momentum come in to test the bearish control zone. This is typically where price action on LivePerson makes a move to the top side. So here's where you had one low on the RSI. After that, you had a degree of bullish divergence, what with the lower low on price action, higher low on RSI, a bit of a reaction, then touched the top side of the bearish control zone here. You got another touch here, top of it on that guy, and now we're back again. So you can see that on these, this was the first move. It was took price action down, but in that same move, you got the bullish divergence, and then you had a positive reaction. We'll give that guy a tick, will we? Round to back to front ticks again, and then you'll see tested the top of the bearish control zone at that stage. Another positive move, tested the top of the bullish control zone here. Price action moved to the top side, and that was the low side on a local low at that part of the trend. So we'll also give it that guy. That's also a tick. Then the next one, also a tick. Strong positive moves off the back of that. I mean, you got two touches, two opportunities, and that's relevant to consider, but also that's a tick. So every time price action since this linear trend has begun, it put in so much of a move down that the RSI touched the top of the bearish control zone. You got really strong reactions to the top side, and of those moves, you got big percentages, off the back of this guy. You got a 90 odd % move, and that's not to be sniffed at by any trader, obviously. This guy, 222% move off the back of that reaction, and this one 167% off the back of. Now I'm sure there was little other ones in between, but they were all very significant. You saw the first one nearly 100%. All of these areas have been very significant. This guy came at earnings. This was a very similar period to what we've seen now, with price action going down slowly, part of harmonic resonance in that retracement. You saw the test of the macro support line, and then a really strong bullish move to the top side. You had a spurt and start right off the back of earnings, and that's the sort of velocity and volume that you see. Highly volatile moves could be very profitable if you manage your risk and position correctly. So that's what we're looking at. I believe as Trump is speaking tonight, between now and tomorrow's open, we'll have one trading day left of LivePerson before the earnings are announced. Rocky Outcrop will be live as those earnings are released, so there is no better person to give you a heads up on how it's going. We'll be covering it and paying a lot of attention on Discord, watching Rocky Outcrop show, and got the audio video commentary of these amazing events that could be really impactful for the community here. If you aren't aware, we cover LivePerson in great detail on the Discord, along with a lot of other different stocks, tickers, crypto, everything you'd like to possibly trade. Speaking, Mr. Trump is speaking. You've had this test of that trend line. Take these trade suggestions out of the way. And you can see that you broke through that important horizontal level, that which defined this part of a parallel channel. To push back into it would also be reclaiming the 236 at 5830. Making it to that level would suggest that this most recent low push here, 4-hour time frame, bullish divergence, would give it a degree of velocity returning to that formation. It could come back and test the previous highs, and that trade that I deleted from the picture to remove some of the drawings and make it slightly clearer, you would get positive resolution on that trade, take it up to the top side and you get the profit. That'd be very positive. Obviously, I've stopped out of this thing slightly higher. And then you get the breakdown trade here where you get the confirmation of that. You had an impulse move that took you sort of low, that prior low, hasn't yet resolved itself with regards to the momentum signature. So you might be looking at a retest, in which case we'll see some action on the futures chart as Trump kicks off his chat. I think it's called America's Back or renewal of the American dream or something along those lines. I would have thought revitalization was a more apt word. Renewal works too. Anyway, Trump, he has got a speech. It will have a degree of volatility that adds a picture of ambiguity with regards to the main index itself recently losing support. If you go and check VIX, you can see that volatility very much high. Having broke out of this tightening formation, it's come back and broken the previous highs within that prior formation. So volatility is high. Trump is speaking, so risk is off. That'll have an impact on a lot of different things, including cryptocurrency. Holy sugars. Really important diagonal of note. That was very interesting. We had these important highs, losing that and that rejection at the same time. We've been covering Discord. On Discord, we've been covering crypto in great detail. Rocky Outcrop's got a show coming out Wednesday, and he's going to be updating you on the Bitcoin moves. Everything he says really does have a really high degree of reliability with regards to trading Bitcoin and anything, but you can follow Bitcoin along with him. He's been doing it for years and years and years, and if they were the only trades you'd ever made, you could have started with very little and you'd be very rich right now. So if you've got at all any degrees of anxiety about trading, you want to learn from the very best, he's got all the experience and success that you need to emulate. So I would definitely recommend his show and his channel, Rocky Outcrop, on YouTube, and it's his Discord, Rocky Outcrop. Check www.discord.gg/Rocky Outcrop. You get a free invite and join the rest of us trading all these different tickers, including Bitcoin. Great strong recovery so far at the 50% retracement. Needs to break that level at 89. If it does come up, test 92, 94, covering that very well on Discord. Real big shout out to everyone in the cryptocurrency room on the premium side. You guys really, really smashing it last couple of days. Let's keep that up. Absolutely one of the best trading teams in the world, no doubt about it. Thanks very much for being part of it. Hit the like button. See you in the next show. Let's see, did we, for the first time ever on the channel, did we achieve the goal during the show? Let's see, everybody. Really, really good effort in this video. A lot of condensed, concise details, so you could give it a couple of watches and get extra value out of it for yourself. Thank you very much for paying attention here. If you want to support the show, become a channel member, join up on Discord, and use the links below for donations. Thanks so much. We've done a lot of work. Really, like I say, great video. Really ahead of important time in earnings. And the support from you guys really makes a difference, you know. So it might not be completely natural to you to donate to a person on YouTube. I totally understand. That's new to a lot of different people. If you consider the equivalence, though, what would you, you know, is it an important job? Is it successful? Is it helpful? Is it useful? Is it effective? And compare that to, you know, what other jobs that you might pay people to do for you, and think, well, maybe, you know, maybe is it worth it? I think you might come to the positive resolution on that. Let's see if LivePerson does the same tomorrow and what Trump says in the next few minutes. Thanks very much for watching. See you tomorrow.